Evening, everyone. We are here with another episode. I saw this story on Twitter. I actually saw his sentencing first, so I was like, I'm just get to. I know I look homeless. I'm looking real homeless over here. I got something to do soon, and I'm just waiting for that date to come up so I can cut my hair and my face and look less homeless. You know, less Skid Row-ish. But like I was saying, I saw this story on Twitter. His sentencing first, I saw how many years he got, and I was just wondering why the hell did he get so long? But we're gonna get into why he got so long in the story. We got dogs barking and shit. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but I can. So let's get into it. It's spooky season, everyone. It's what I've been waiting for. It's October. It's horror season. It's that shutter time. It's that cuddle time. It's that cuddle weather. It's that fall. It's everything. Summer is dead, and I can't be more happy because I'm so tired of summer. I'm so tired of the heat, and I'm so tired of the shit. And now my favorite season is here. Halloween season. We get our scary movies. We get Halloween this Friday, which I can't wait to see. Haven't decided yet if I'm gonna actually go to the movies or just watch it, at home and get some snacks. That's probably what I am gonna do, but we'll see. We'll see what mood I'm in. But yeah, this is a story of something I always was kind of worried about when it came to social media. When it comes to meeting people that you don't know. I can't lie, I've had all types of different social medias. I've met all type of people on social media, from social media. Some have become great friends. Some have been people that I've known for short time periods. Some people I've never seen again or never wanted to see again. So it goes without, having to say at that point. But every time I went into meeting someone, no matter how many times we talked prior, I always worried to myself, like, what if this is a setup? Even on my way there, driving there, or whatever the case may be, I always have those nerves in the back of my mind. Like, what if this is a setup? What if I'm going and I'm about to meet a damn serial killer? What if she's a psychopath? Like, all these things run through my mind, but at the same time, I still do it. Don't know why. Don't have an explanation. Well, I can't say I really do it too much now, but I mean, in the past tense, you know, before, you realize how many psychos was in this world. One of these weirdos was Khalil Wheeler-Weaver. Now, I'm calling this guy a weirdo because he's basically the typical serial killer if you really kind of think about it. Because a lot of them are clean cut, well mannered, well dressed people that you won't expect are actually, murderers. And they have a streak of murders. They don't just kill one person. They usually go out and kill multiple people. They're usually that charming type of person. But Khalil didn't really go after people that you really had to use your charm and do things with. You know, he went after sex workers. So on August 31st, 2016, Khalil runs into Robin Wood. She is a sex worker. Like I said, she is from Philly. And she was out with her friend named Bernice Patterson. Bernice even jokes with Khalil, take care of my sister. Well, I guess you could say he planned on taking care of her, but he planned on taking care of her in a way that no one really expected. to happen. So Bernice then wrote down his license plate, well, actually put it into her phone and saved it as a contact. She ended up being the last person to see Robin alive. On September 1st, there was a house fire in the city of Orange, which is not too far from where Robin was last seen. That is where her body was discovered. She became the first of his victims on his killing spree. Now, it will be 3 victims on this killing spree. But one of the crazy things about this case was the point of he basically set the house on fire. But the main point of the fire was actually Robin's body. So he set Robin's body on fire after raping and strangling her. And then the fire eventually spread out throughout the house. As you see, I said, it was burned down. Now, this guy moves quick. Janae Brown, who worked as a stripper and was also a sex worker, she was walking her stroll near a Popeye's chicken. You know, when I read that part, and I know this is like, murder and things, but when I read that part, I did low-key get hungry. I'm not fitting into that stereotype, but I did get hungry. At least some chicken strips. Some chicken strips would have at least did me right. But anyways, she encountered Wheeler on the south side of New Jersey. He strangled her 6 blocks away from his house where he stayed with his parents. He then buried her nearby in an unmarked grave. His final victim was a little different though. Sarah Butler was none of the above. She wasn't a sex worker. She was actually sought out by Khalil, as I have these text messages up now of the exchange. So as we see, he hits her up, basically like money for sex. And as we learn, she is a college student. Maybe she wanted some help with her tuition or something. It could have been a lot of reasons, a lot of different things, or why. She accepted. Well, eventually she had to accept the money because they did eventually hang out. Of course, no money was exchanged, but it had to happen. She did agree to a $500 payment. Even, and the most startling part of this whole exchange was the last part of the text message. Now, you see on the last part of the text message, she asks him, "Are you a serial killer?" Of course, because that is something, like I said earlier, that you think about when you're meeting someone, especially a strange person that you've never met. And I think it's even more of a higher risk situation because, sex is involved with a stranger that you don't really know. But she was 20 years old. She went missing in November 2016, and the police found her body laying out in some weeds on Eagle Rock Reservation, which is a county park in West Orange, New Jersey. She was a sophomore at New Jersey City University. She was home visiting for Thanksgiving break, which is just crazy. You think about yourself in the aspect of you're going home to visit. You're thinking you're going home just to visit family, visit friends, see everything, see everybody, that you don't really get to see anymore because you're off at college. And I'm guessing since she's home visiting, she had to live on campus or near campus. She didn't live at home anymore, so she's seeing her family. And to go at it and that be like the last time, like that ends up being a fatal mistake. That's the last time you see your family. You end up being murdered because you decide to go see family and you don't like, it's kind of just, or you decide not to hang out with this person. It's kind of just a crazy situation of how choices come into play. She drove to a 7-Eleven on November 22nd, 2016. Khalil was in the passenger seat of Butler's van. He was caught on camera basically wearing typical, burglar, up to no good type shit. All black. All black beanie, all black gloves. He even had a leather gloves that were super tight knit, close to like super tight. You can tell that they were really tight on his hands. He bought an iced tea and a pack of 3 condoms. Why we need to know that he bought a pack of 3 condoms? Don't know, but it was in the report. He bought a pack of 3 condoms. They went straight to Eagle Rock Reservation, where she was later murdered. Now, the crazy part about this is basically like the last events she really saw was a 7-Eleven, and then basically where she was found in Eagle Rock was, I don't know if it was the dump site exactly where he murdered her at, or if he just dumped her there, but you basically see nothing there. It's darkness, it's weeds, it's a park, but it's a national, like a national park. It's not like a typical park with swings and slides and stuff. So it's kind of sad for a 20-year-old to have to go through that, and those being basically the last 2 destinations of her life. So now we're getting to why he has this name, the name that I'm giving him. We're getting to that part of the story. So basically, 2 days after Sarah went missing, some of her friends and her sister got together and they lured Wheeler using a dating app. They catfished him, and basically he fell for it. Now, during his killing spree, he was interviewed by 2 different police forces, the Montclair and the Union Township police forces. Basically interviewed them. They had him in custody. They interviewed him. You guys seen First 48. Y'all know what happened in the interview room on First 48. So they asked him questions and they grilled him and all this other stuff, and they still let him go to kill again. So they got him multiple times. Multiple times they were able to arrest him, and they let him go. So the police don't do their jobs, but luckily her sister and her friends do. So her sister, her name is a very interesting name, Bassinia Daly, and her friends are Samantha Riviera and Lamia Brown. Basically, they got involved, and if they didn't get involved, the dude might have never got caught. He probably would have racked up even more kills than 3. So they hacked into Sarah Butler's account, and they saw that the last person that she met up with and talked to that night, before her disappearance, was bitch ass Khalil. And the site ended up being called Tagged. Now, I'm going. Honestly, in 2016, I didn't even know Tag was still popping. I ain't gonna lie. Back in the day, I had it tagged, but I had it tagged in like high school. This was like 2011, 2010, like 09 type. Like, that's when I had tagged. I don't think I had it tagged in 2016. Like, I didn't even know that shit was popping anymore. But clearly it was, because this motherfucker was able to set up meetings and kill people off of the site. That's just wild to me, because what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? Tagged all sites. So when I was thinking of like serial killers on like dating sites, Tagged was the last one on my mind. I was thinking maybe Tinder, something, a Bumble, something like that. Like, like a popular dating website. Not no goddamn tagged, bro. Hey, if y'all got a tag If y'all have one or had one, please, please leave a comment. I want to know. I want to know how many people, not how many people on that actually going to watch this actually had attacked. I want to know. But back to the story. He used the name Little A Rock. For one, what kind of name is that? What? Okay. Anyways, they found his account. They contacted him. He responded the same way that he responded to Sarah by offering money for sex. So they set up a meeting at Panera Bread. All right. Okay, I'm gonna get sidetracked again. I'm gonna get on Panera Bread now. Do y'all think Panera Bread be dry sometimes? And another thing that busts my balls about Panera Bread is how they be charging like $5, $6, $7 for a smoothie, and that smoothie be small as shit. That'd be a small ass smoothie. If I'm paying that much, I expect my smoothie to at least be decent size. The smoothie should not feel like a small ass cup in my hand. That should be feeling like a water cup. Why do you give me a water cup, a smoothie for $6, $7, $8? That does not make sense to me. But let me stop, get to story. And yes, they set up a meeting at Panera Bread, but of course they weren't there. They sent the police there, and he was arrested. And once he was arrested, 5 days later, they ended up finding Sarah's body. Now, what if I told you there is more to the story? I remember I told you there was 3 victims that he actually murdered. That he was able to take advantage of and kill. But what if I told you there was a 4th person that actually got away? Someone actually escaped this monster, this weirdo, this creep, and her name is Tiffany Taylor. He got her, he had her handcuffed, but only had about 1 handcuff on her instead of 2, which I thought was pretty weird. She actually detailed where she felt that she wanted to. She could have had like wrapped the chain around his throat and choked him, and in her words, ripped his head off. She felt like he wanted to get caught. Like maybe he was kind of over everything. And the crazy thing was, she even said in the interview that that wasn't even her plan A. That was actually her plan B to do it. What she felt like she might have had to do. But she still, after all these years, and remember, she was attacked. Well, I haven't even told you guys. She was actually attacked in 2016, just like the rest of them. But she still feels like he has a bit of control over her because she doesn't feel the same. She feels like a totally different person now than she did prior to the attack, which most people, who go through things like that, they're traumatized. It's a traumatic experience, so they change. Sometimes not for the better, but they do change. Tiffany Taylor actually met Khalil through a mutual friend in 2016. Along with her best friend, they played video games and hung out at his house. In an interview with NorthJersey.com, she said that Wheeler-Weaver seemed fun. Like, he seemed like a cool dude. He seemed like somebody that was fun to be around. Around this time, Taylor began to rob the Johns. The people that she was sleeping with for money, she began to rob them. So she wasn't this great saint. She was a sex worker, like the rest of the people that he was after. And so basically, if you met her for sex, she would rob you. She said that she got tired of constantly being treated like an object by men, which is understandable. She knew that she would take their money. There's nothing they can do about it. She'll take their money and leave. It's not like you can call the cops and tell them that a prostitute or a sex worker stole your money. She's also a Jehovah Witness. So by those rules, she decided that she would not sleep with married men. but she would rob them if they tried to mess with her. So she sort of had morals, I guess you can say. You're gonna call that morals, She won't sleep with married people. It's admirable. Some people don't care. They don't give a fuck. They don't care if it's a ring, no ring, 5 rings, 6 rings. Done got married 20 times, still married. They don't care. They fuck. It's a lot of people like that. But anyways, Tiffany, later down the road, you know, she started receiving texts from a number that she did not know. She was actually pregnant with her second child and just working odd jobs for friends at the Ritz Motel to make ends meet. After refusing the number numerous times, because of course they were hitting her up for sex the same way that he hit up Sarah and the other people that he hit up that way. But eventually she just gave in and agreed to meet at the motel. The stranger, which ended up later being Khalil, was wearing ski masks, black gloves, large sweatshirt. So basically everything that I told you that he was wearing when he killed Sarah, everything in that 7-Eleven photo, he's wearing. It's there. So since the weather is chilly, like I told you earlier, Taylor didn't think nothing of it. She didn't think the clothes was strange. She was just like, oh, it's chilly, whatever. So she drove the two of them away in her friend's car until the stranger asked her to pull over. Once Taylor pulled over, she immediately lost consciousness because she got hit in the back of the head. Khalil immediately popped her in the back of the head as soon as she pulled over. She didn't see it coming. She don't even know what happened. She didn't realize what happened until she woke up, where she was handcuffed in the back of the car and she was in a chokehold as she was being sexually assaulted. He wrapped her head in duct tape, further restraining her breathing. He took off his ski mask and revealed who he was. The moment that he did that, she began to beg for her life, telling Weaver that she is pregnant. The whole thing to this that made everything more scary for her, that was in fact made her think like he's going to kill me, is he calmly replied, I know. I know you're pregnant. Taylor is from a hard background. I think I read somewhere that she was, in foster homes. The life like that, the hard life. You see drugs, you see murder, growing up in the hood type lifestyle. But basically, growing up in that life, that might have saved her life in the long run, because that helped her hatch a plan to get out of the situation. Through tears, she begged and begged him to loosen the handcuffs. So do you remember when we got to that the bit of the story where she said when she had one handcuff on and she wanted to strangle him? That's basically how. Like, she kind of outsmarted him, if you really think about it. She got him to loosen the cuffs a little bit, and then after she realized, I could kind of maybe get him to do a couple things, she realized she outsmarted him. So she started talking more. She reminded him that the entire convo was stored in the phone and that it was back at the Ritz Motel. Taylor said all the information would connect him to her murder. And suddenly he kind of changed. He stopped molesting her. He jumped in the front seat and he started the car. But what kind of pissed me off reading this is he did the typical, like, what, like, fuck boy. This nigga's a fuck boy. Like, this was his response when he hopped in the front seat. He started like self victimizing. Like, how do you self victimize in a situation like that? He says nobody likes me. Why do I have to pay for a girl to show me attention? What? If you were just not a weirdo, females will show you attention, bro. But instead, you're a creep. That's why no one shows you attention. You're a freaking murderer. You murder people. You probably give off creepy vibes at that point. Like, you're a weirdo, bro. So, heading back to the motel, Taylor slipped her double jointed hand out. Like, she a soldier, bro. She slipped. Her hands double jointed, so she slipped it out of handcuffs. Like I told y'all, debating if she should wrap around his neck, but she decided not to because they both probably would have died in the crash. But when they arrived back to the motel, she changed course, of course, because she felt safety. Safety was close. Now that they were back at the hotel, Wheeler-Weaver ripped the duct tape from her face and they walked to her room. Taylor still has that one handcuff on. She knew she could release herself if she needed to. They made it to her hotel room and she kicked the door. Her friend opened it immediately and Taylor ran inside, slamming the door behind her. The bolt lock automatically activated and locked Wheeler-Weaver out. So, honestly, do y'all feel like if you would have got into that hotel room, that her and her friend would be dead right now? Because honestly, I get that vibe. But then again, he kind of is a coward. He's more of a coward. So maybe he can do something like that. But you never know. Taylor then pushed aside the curtain facing the outside hallway to show him that she escaped her handcuffs. He ran from the scene. Police. This is what the police didn't do their job twice in this case. Twice in this case. The police are trash, and I feel like the more I always have to say this, I feel like in a lot of the videos, if the police just did their job, a lot of this stuff will be avoided. Then the police, don't get me wrong, there's some policemen that do their job, but it seems like the idiots get the jobs that they don't need to have. As we clearly we're gonna get into this. We're gonna go and why I feel like the police are freaking idiots. So she calls the police, but the police do not believe her. They even threaten her and say they're going to arrest her for prostitution, even though all the evidence she had from the conversations to I'm sure the bruises to everything else that she had, they just felt like since she was a sex worker, she was just making this stuff up. A week later, Sarah Butler got killed. So, if the police would have did their job, Sarah Butler would still be alive right now. But instead, they felt like they couldn't believe the words of a prostitute just because she's a prostitute. A prostitute is still a human being. No matter as much as people want to act like they're not, they're still human beings. Before his sentence, he told the judge that he was set up and framed and denied all responsibilities. All responsibilities. He said he did nothing. None of these crimes. All of this is false. All this is BS. He's being set up by the system. Even though the system saved you so many times. If if the system did its job, you would not have even gotten that last kill. You'd have been stuck at 2. You might not even gotten your second one. We don't know when in time frame you got stopped by the cops. We don't know the dates. We don't know that. But Tiffany Taylor told the judge, show no mercy. My whole life is different because of what he did to me. And the judge listened, thankfully. Because this man about to rot in jail. Mind you, this man is only 25 years old, meaning he could have had a bright future ahead of him. He could have had so many things ahead of him, but instead he decided that he wanted to be a serial killer. And that decision to be a serial killer wasn't the best one. And now he'll be sitting 160 years in prison. That's what he was sentenced to October 6, 2021. A jury found him guilty of 11 charges, including 3 counts of murder, decretion of human remains, attempted murder, 2 counts of aggravated sexual assault, aggravated arson, and kidnapping. And I hope this motherfucker rots in jail forever. And that's my tidbit on that. So over. Yeah. Um. Actually, Barrel's a weirdo. I've already said that. I said what I had to say about him. Give your thoughts about the story in the comments. I want to read comments. Comments would be nice to read. I think that'd be pretty cool. You know. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe. If y'all like me, if y'all don't like me, uh, share with your friends. They might like me. But alright, yeah, I'm done here. Gotta go, you know, be a father and shit. But alright, I'll see y'all later. Purple rain, Purple rain, purple. Alright, yeah. See y'all later. Peace.